I used to believe that growth meant adding more systems, more clients, more pressure. And I tried to be everywhere and do everything. Then I had this epiphany. I realized that the more I added, the more scattered I became. The endless hours that I spent grinding with the hope that one day it would set me free. When in reality, it actually pulled me deeper into the weeds, and I ended up living and operating in the sea of complexity. I was drowning in operations and tasks every single day, even though they weren't moving the needle. And I realized the truth is, it's not about adding more and more tasks to your plate, it's actually about subtraction, knowing exactly what to remove from your life and business so you can focus on what truly matters. And in this video, I'm going to break down exactly how you can start removing so you can actually gain forward momentum and build a business that you truly wanted to build in the first place. So with that being said, let's dive right into today's video.
There are two types of things that you could aspire to achieve as a founder. One is an internal desire, and these desires are based on a void that you're trying to fill, maybe pain that you're trying to avoid, some sort of wound. On the other hand, there's also your purpose, right? That's what you were put on this planet to achieve. That's the thing that you were truly destined to do. That's the difference that you are supposed to make in this world. Now, where things get really messy is oftentimes founders don't really understand the difference between their internal desires that they are chasing based on some negative programming, right? It's that lack that they're trying to fill, or they're trying to avoid some sort of pain or rejection, or trying to prove something, right? And they're trying to create a sense of self-worth by chasing those internal desires. On the other hand, there's of course the purpose that we all have, that founders have when they want to build a company, when they think about making a change, a difference in the world, right? And so we really need to know how to distinguish between the two, because oftentimes what happens is when you don't really understand the difference, you end up chasing a lot of goals in your company based on the personal pains that you have, right? Without even understanding it, you're chasing love, attention, validation because your cup within yourself isn't full. You are trying to find that self-worth in those external things. And that's when you start screwing up the strategies in your company. You're running a deeper loop within yourself that's more about, how do I make myself feel good? How do I feel worthy? What do I need to do? How do I show others that I am it, I have become, right? So I would really say that, going to my example, trying to create viral content was definitely a weird kind of loop that I was stuck on without understanding it. Just for context, because I always feel like I shouldn't be sitting here on a high horse. I should always be sharing my own examples of what I've been through, just so you can understand this better. And, context always helps. I spent well over $15,000, to be honest, maybe closer to $20,000. We spent a lot of money on external coaches and agencies, hiring people internally, because everybody was saying you need to build a personal brand. You need to try to go big and viral, create your micro brand. And I fell into that loop. The logical side of me was like agreeing with these people that talked about content, in the sense that, oh yeah, because if I have a brand, if I have a bigger following, I'm essentially getting free leads. It'll make sales easier. It'll actually contribute to the growth of my company. So logically, it makes sense. But when you actually dig deeper, what I really found was, well, I was doing those things because I wanted to feel some sense of validation. Like, oh, look at me, I've got this big following. It's that egotistical stuff within yourself. And so around $15,000 to $20,000, I would say 6 to 12 months in, it didn't work out, right? We went through lots of internal changes. We went through so many different coaches and agencies, everybody that promised big results with content, like spend only 4 hours per week on content and you're going to blow up, promise, guaranteed. We went through all of that stuff, right? And long story short, I realized content, logically, it's a game of outliers. Like the people that you see that are really big, like the Hermosis of this world, they are the outliers. They're not the norm. The majority of people go literally nowhere with content. So I was grateful that it didn't work out for me, because I was seeking to grow for the wrong reasons. And I realized, like, if I scaled up to, let's say, 50,000 followers, 100,000 followers, I don't know, whatever, right? Even 1 million. I think it would have taken me down the wrong path, the wrong trajectory. I would have conditioned myself to seek the wrong things in life. So whether you believe in universe, God, quantum field, whatever you want to call it, I really feel like you will never get the things that isn't truly yours, because you are here to learn a lesson. It's almost like you're being redirected to focus on what you really need to focus in order to learn the lessons, to become the person, to become the founder, and to build the company that you are truly meant to build. And if you do so, that's how you make that difference in the freaking world. And I think for me, chasing vanity metrics was just the wrong thing. And I caught myself in this loop of trying to do lots of things for external validation, for external self-worth. And I really had to take a step back and to really think about it in the terms of, well, why? Why the am I doing this? Because I think a good founder should have his or her cup already full within, right? You shouldn't be trying to build things in your company to fill up your own cup. That's, I think, the wrong way of going about it. So again, sorry, I'm just looking at notes from my journal. These are just raw, honest thoughts. So then it becomes the thing about what is it that a founder should be doing? And how do we really reverse engineer the mindset or the paradigm of a perfect founder? So I would say the perfect founder should already be fully living in their self-worth. Their cup is already full. And this is where you don't need to go out there chasing love, attention, validation, because you already are full within. And so now we can have this clear separation of you in your personal life and then you also acting as the founder, trying to achieve different things inside of your business. Business then becomes a game of logic and strategy, not necessarily a game of personally feeling like you are worthy or personally you feeling like, oh, this is how I'm going to avoid this pain or prove X, Y, and Z to this other person. The other thing is, I think a good founder should be a minimalist. By that, I mean, you should have little surface area in your personal life. So surface area is a scientific concept, which basically means the more things that you have in your personal life, or let's say in your business, the more it's going to kind of overwhelm you and it's going to drain you. But what I found myself is when I have so much things going on in my personal life, it actually distracts me from focusing on the things that truly matter. And this kind of brings me to the next point, which is you must know what are your good inputs versus what are your bad inputs. The good inputs are the things that really energize you. For me, that's sauna, cold plunge, working out, going for runs, some select group of friends that are amazing inputs for me, some select social activities, right? Bad inputs for me, definitely like drinking, overeating, watching like freaking junk stuff. So you have to know what are the things that really lift you up and make you feel you versus the things that literally kill you. And so our goal as a founder has to be, how do we remove all the things that kill us and fill up our days and our weeks with the things that really uplift us? Then ultimately, you have to also focus on that big domino moves every single week, right? Because there's so many things that you could be doing as a founder, but you often have to get in that headspace of, well, my life is already abundant. And it helps if you could come up to somewhere kind of beautiful like this. Right now I'm in Vail, Colorado, and Vail just has that freaking energy where it's just so calm and peaceful. It's only about an hour and a half away from my home in Denver. And just getting out of the city and coming somewhere kind of quiet in nature makes me feel so freaking peaceful. Like I don't need to aspire to get more things or achieve more things. It's just like, I'm perfect as I am. So some places have this energy. So if you need to like go out there, take some time off, right? I definitely recommend that to clear your head and get into that state of my cup is already full. I'm already happy. I'm already worthy. I don't need anything else, right? Just being me is enough. And then now from that state where you're like, I'm so freaking relaxed, I'm loving every moment of my life, but I still have a mission that my company is trying to create. What do I need to do this week so I can live in this state, do those one or two big key moves, and then get back to just being me? That is the headspace you need to be operating from, right? That's how you figure out your big domino moves every single week. Once we figure out our big domino moves, what you need to do is create a simple OKR. You basically want to time block stuff. Again, these are very basic productivity. You basically want to start mapping out what exactly I need to do today, tomorrow, this week, and by Friday when I reflect back, what should I have achieved in order for me to feel like I've really moved the needle while still having this time, this peace and this calm. And another tip that I'm going to say is start tracking your time. It sounds really basic, but a lot of founders, at least I have caught myself underestimating how much little things take. Sometimes, I go into, let's say, media buying and copywriting, and I think it's going to take me 1 hour. And then when I track my time, I look back and I'm like, shit, it actually took me 3 hours. The reason I say to track this time is so you have a better understanding of like where your time is going, and you'll be able to understand like, okay, this is what I can delegate. Like for me, the biggest needle moving thing in that example of media buying and copywriting might have been to actually come up with a media buying strategy and to come up with the copy, the ad stuff, right? But I didn't personally need to be the person plugging that stuff into Ads Manager. Any person on my team could have done that. We could have even hired a very cheap contractor to just follow my SOPs and to just plug that stuff into Ads Manager. And I would have saved 2 hours. So that's another example. Anyways, going back to what I was saying is you also want to delegate all of your non-revenue activities in your life and business. And again, this goes back to my point about minimizing surface area. You basically want to reduce that complexity. So this goes back to the basics of like getting a meal prep service so you don't have to cook, getting a cleaner so your home is clean, trying to be a minimalist and not having so many things in your life. And you have to understand that with every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. I buy a third sports car, let's just say, man, that thing is coming with a lot of headaches. Oil change, taxes, registrations. So on one hand, I want to do these things. On the other hand, I also have to understand that, okay, there are some negative consequences, and that's going to actually distract me and detract me from doing the thing that truly, truly matters. So again, it's going to be this game of a balance, right? How do you figure out what's important, what's not important? I think it all goes back to, are you doing it for that internal personal desire that's coming from a place of scarcity and lack? Or are you doing this because it's part of your mission, your purpose? This is what feels aligned. This is what you should aspire to be as a founder, as a human being, so you can build the best freaking company, which is be full internally, right? Love yourself, be at peace. Don't need anything, don't seek anything. Just be content with how you are. You need to come to this state of almost like a Buddhist monk and be like, I'm happy as I am. I am perfect as I am. You love yourself unconditionally. You're just joyful, peaceful, right? Crave nothing from others. That is the biggest trap in life. When you start craving things from other people, that's a trap, right? That's a prison. The free person is the one that seeks nothing, yet has everything within. And then fill your own cup. And that's what I mean by doing all of these things. You're literally trying to fill your own cup up. Then from that place, create, lead, aspire, create the vision for your company. There's going to be a profound difference between the person that's doing all of these things and trying to be a founder from a place of lack and scarcity versus a founder that's already fulfilled and doing everything from a place of joy, love, abundance. Otherwise, you're going to end up, making the wrong moves. And I'm going to say, minimize distractions or what doesn't grow you. Know the bad inputs versus the good inputs and focus only on what moves the needle. Be happy within, fill your own cup up. This is the headspace you need to be in order to be an amazing, amazing founder. So I really hope this video helps you. I'll see you in the next one.